It's the 20th day of March 2023. Good evening and thank you for giving us a company as we take you through the Rwanda television news tonight. And this is what is coming up on Edition tonight. Rwanda has announced that various measures will be undertaken in the near future to reduce the issue of overcrowding in Rwandan prisons. The ministry in charge of emergency management urges the residents to increase their efforts in preventing disasters, especially in this rainy season. A very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News. My name is Sam Kalisa, and as we kick it off tonight, the Minister of Justice and the Minister of Interior announced that various measures will be undertaken in the near future to reduce the issue of overcrowding in Rwandan prisons. Adam Squizera starts us off tonight with this report.
The Ministry of Interior noted that in solving the problem of overcrowding in prisons, there have been various methods to be considered, including releasing high number of the prisoners, especially those who served two-thirds of their prison sentences. As Gassan Alfred, the Minister of Interior, explains. Those who served the two-thirds according to the conditional release. As to that, RCS, we coordinate with the Ministry of Justice. Then RCS is the one who informs all responsible authorities that they have the number of people who fulfilled all the requirements of the conditional release. Then the responsible team approves it. At this point, the members of parliament were concerned that there will be more people who will be released without completing their sentences, which will lead to recidivism, as well. They also reiterated on the issue of people who spend a long time in custody without trial. Let me give an example. You may find that someone is detained due to that he or she stole shoes. Whenever he is found guilty, he will be sentenced 6 months. But you find that he has spent almost 12 months detained. Then my question is, how do you manage to screen such cases? The Minister of Justice also pointed out that this issue has been also resolved, and in the near future, 100 of them will be released. In case he is detained for a long time, but approximate to what he or she was supposed to be sentenced, by then they will be released. Currently, the number is not high, but when this case happens, that's how it will be done. This reformed approach to be releasing prisoners has already been approved in the Act governing the Rwanda Correctional Service, RCS, where currently 87,000 people are the approximate number of the prisoners in all Rwanda's prisons, who are equivalent to 145% of their capacity. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adams. Since October 2020, the government of Rwanda has paid up to 50 billion Rwandan francs to improve the passenger experience for those who travel using public transport. However, the government still owes 10 billion Rwandan francs to transport companies for the first 2 months of the year 2023. Isabel Masozera's story in the voice of Adam Squizera.
Last week, on social media and in the media, a letter was published by the Association of Public Transporters, ATPR, highlighting that the Prime Minister's remark on the transport matters. According to Mungu Zito Honest, the problem is under control with the help of the Prime Minister's office. This issue had reached 5 months, reaching 20 million, now 10 million has been paid. Despite the fact that there are 2 months left for the government to pay, public transporters companies have now settled due to that there are some problems which are going to be solved as immediately, as explained by Kwahirwa Innocent, the manager of Jari Transport. We last received money in September and it was paid like in February this year, meaning that there are multiple months not paid. Even when a car needs spare parts, it's hard to afford. Even paying the bank is an issue. However, the Minister of Infrastructure, Dr. Nsaimana Ernest, knows that even though the government paid after the letter ATPRO to the Prime Minister, the relevant agencies were not sitting idle, adding that the rest will be paid in a timely manner. I see that some money has been paid, like 10 million, yesterday late, but they have received the money, and even other stakeholders who are yet to pay are working towards to it. On the other hand, Minister Nsaimana shows that the government can reduce or eliminate the support it provides in various sectors if it is heavily burdened. The government has invested in different initiatives in various sectors across the country, and specifically in this sector, and we are now seeing the progress. Currently, 1 kilometer is equivalent to 30 francs, whereas the government incentive is 9 francs apart from the fuel price incentives.
The ministry in charge of emergency management urges the residents to increase their efforts in preventing disasters, especially in this rainy season.
In various places across the country have been experiencing heavy rainfall for the past 2 weeks, which has caused disasters, which destroyed houses, among others. No one was able to rescue anything because there was too much water, higher than half meters, and no one was able to rescue anything. Meanwhile, everything was destroyed. The ministry in charge of emergency management finds that the people should take action to prevent these natural disasters. Let's clear the waterways, both on the roads, in our homes, and in the neighborhood. People who destroy the foundations in the waterways should be avoided because it damages the waterways, and they should also be there to warn those who may pass around those risky places. Minister Kaisiri Mari Solange noted that it's possible to prevent lightning. People who are walking in the rain with earphones, talking on phones, and other things, they should stop it. And we also urge various people, such as farmers, that they should cover themselves from rain in order to prevent lightning on their way. The Ministry of Emergency Management also advises people to use lightning rods, especially in public places, and to check whether they still have the ability to protect them from lightning. The ministry also noted that in the last 3 months, 9 people lost their lives in floods caused by rain, while lightning killed 15 people, while 10 people died due to that their houses collapsed on them. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
The Ministry of Education has urged French teachers to use modern teaching methods to help students better master the language and in line with the country's development agenda. This was announced on Monday as Rwanda was celebrating the International Francophonie Day. At the TTC Kabarore in Eastern Province, students are learning French through songs, one of the modern ways of teaching the language. The use of this modern method is one of the main priorities of the National Plan for the Teaching and Learning of French, which was launched on Monday during the International Francophonie Day. Education Minister Dr. Valentin Wamaria noted that this modern method is in line with the country's vision. It
is a large program that is in all levels of education, from nursery school to the university. We expect it to enhance the learning and use it of the French language because it is all in line with the country's competency-based economy, which involved working with other countries, so knowing foreign languages is very important.
Educators are of the view that implementing this national plan will ease the teaching and learning of French, despite that the journey is still long. This program should be brought to the understanding of the learners, because education is not something that happens overnight. It is slowly by slowly. So this program will bring tangible results. The ambassador of France to Rwanda, Antoine Anfray, finds that the fact that Rwanda has embarked on teaching many foreign languages will help the country to develop.
Je crois que ça répond effectivement à un besoin du Rwanda, aussi à sa stratégie. Le Rwanda souhaite être une plateforme, un hub.
It is in line with Rwanda's vision of becoming a regional hub. Therefore, teaching English and French is very necessary. We all know that Rwandans are speaking in Rwanda and they learn English in school, but the country's leadership found it necessary for French to be taught and used in trade and communication. In her message on the International Francophonie Day, the Secretary General of the International Organization of La Francophonie, Louise Mushikiwabo, expressed the importance of taking care of the cultural industries of countries and its importance in the life of each country.
Vous méritez toute l'attention des pouvoirs publics, des groupes privés.
You should be valued by all governments and private institutions and partner organizations because you possess the economic intercultural values of French-speaking nations, especially in youth entrepreneurship. You should be cared for because the development of the cultural industry should go in line with employment and the economic development of the country.
Dans tous nos pays, à la croissance économique et à l'emploi.
Some of the key points that appear in the new national plan for the teaching and learning of French include increasing the number and capacity of French teachers teaching French from the early years of primary school to the final year of the secondary school and more. From education matters to matters related to justice, legal experts have shown that the way of mediation in resolving issues without going through the courts would play a major role in rebuilding the unity among Rwandans and would be the solution to the problems caused by the delay in the completion of court cases.
During this mediation week, litigants were informed about the importance of mediation in court cases. This method is said to speed up litigation, reduce costs for both plaintiff and defendant, and also uniting people as well, as the legal mediators knows that everyone should know the importance of this new way of solving issues.
The most significant change was the rapid adoption of mediation by the Supreme Court in its wisdom to see the value and its potential for the court system as well as for the legal community and those that are involved in conflict. And by embracing mediation early on at the highest levels, the Supreme Court really gave encouragement to the Bar Association and others to continue with their education and training. Now, of course, we've seen policy development, we've seen skill training, and a host of other steps toward implementing mediation in broader judicial. Many cases go to mediation before a complaint is filed or other procedures are initiated to bring them into the court system. So I think that too is an evolutionary process. The more lawyers experience the success of mediation in a pre-litigation environment, the more they'll recognize the value of the process beginning early.
The head of the Court Mediation Advisory Committee, Professor Sam Rujeje, explains what to expect after this week dedicated to mediation activities. Mediating people is something which is normally in our culture, as we also want to develop it by solving many issues. Then, we hope that after this week, all lawyers will be aware to many ways of mediating and how it should be done, as to also be a benefit to them. This will also facilitate the business companies to also be aware of it and its benefits. In order to have enough professional mediators in solving conflicts, the Chief Justice, Dr. Nezigiayo Faustin, pointed out that their number will continue to increase. We started training people in mediation. As I told you, that we have an American firm which is helping us in those activities. As to that, we've reached over 300 people who were trained in mediation. There was a part of discussing with lawyers and also discussions with business companies and insurance companies as well, in order to show them that it's possible that there are some cases which can be solved through mediation, as that with the help of various courts, they will train people that there should be a solution of their issues through mediation. So far, through this method of solving cases without going to court, more than 3,000 cases have been solved, and there is a hope that the number will increase as Rwandans will understand this way of mediation. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
The Ministry of Trade and Industry has launched a project aimed at monitoring the process of assessment of national food control system in order to find out what should be done to reduce health risks. Betty Mutoni.
In 2022, the government of Rwanda signed an agreement with Food and Agriculture Organization to gain support in implementing the food control system assessment tool to examine the country's food control system. The country representative of Food and Agriculture Organization noted that it is time to implement the project.
This assessment is important, particularly today that we are going to have the implementation of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. And mainly those products would be of agriculture, but also food. We have to get ready, and Rwanda is really pioneering this exercise by evaluating the entire food quality of its products here in Rwanda, so that they can embrace very easily the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, but also other international markets. Thank you.
Although the assessment of the food control system helps identifying the strengths and weaknesses so that strategic plan can be made to make food safer, to improve public health, and to be more competitive in the food market, Rwanda, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, organized a workshop from 20th to 24th March 2023 for different categories on national food control system assessment, and some of the trainees expect some of the solutions to existing challenges.
Then this project is going to put more efforts on the quality. That is why we are using this assessment tool to check the quality and also to help the farmers to improve the quality. So, as I said, one of the gaps in the food system or in the value chain is to link to the market. When you want to link to the market, you need to have a good quality product, because most of the countries, they care about quality instead of quantity. Although we must have both of them, but quality is so much important. So I think that this training workshop or this project, it's an opportunity for us in Rwanda to help our farmers and to help all the value chain actors to improve the quality, of course, looking at the safety of the food.
In 2022, Rwanda, together with the Food and Agriculture Organization, decided to start assessing the food chain using modern methods at international level. This involves working with all decision-making bodies and stakeholders food chain in the country in order to identify problems and determine the investment needed to improve the capacity required at the international level, as it is explained by the Minister of Trade and Industry, Ngabitsinze Jean Chrysostome.
FL Rome, through this regional office, including Rwanda office, to work together to make sure that we can improve and increase the capacity in terms of testing along the value chains, the standards of our products, mainly food products. So it's very important. It's implemented across almost 80 countries in Africa, and after this project, for sure, countries will be able now to increase how they send to the markets, international markets, because international markets requires many standards, and sometimes our actors along the value chains, many farmers, are not aware on how to handle, so they can have good product to be sold to international markets. So politically is very good to develop even the policies around the standardization, but technically is very important because it's boosting the skills, technicians who have to help farmers along the value chains.
This project is being carried out in 8 countries that are part of COMESA and African Union. Betty Mutoni, RTV News.
On behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, thank you for being with us on this edition of Rwanda Television News. Up until next time, stay safe and have a great week ahead. Goodbye.